We are about to delve into a subject that might initially appear unsettling, yet it holds immense significance in comprehending the core teachings of Jesus and our journey towards salvation. We embark on a spiritual exploration guided by a sermon titled, "Jesus' Insights into Destructive Habits Leading to Spiritual Detriment." This title evokes introspection, self-awareness, and a pursuit of redemption. Although the gravity of such a statement might be initially jarring, it is vital to confront these truths with an open heart and a receptive spirit. In our lives, we all strive to nurture habits that enrich us, uplift our spirits, bring joy, and transform us into better versions of ourselves. But just as there are habits that enhance our lives, there are also those that lead us astray, distancing us from the path of righteousness and the embrace of our loving God. Jesus, in his infinite wisdom, discussed these habits not to condemn us, but to caution, guide, and offer a way to redemption. For every warning he provided, he also illuminated the route of grace, mercy, and salvation. Human nature often fixates on the visible, the actions we can witness. We tend to judge a person's righteousness based solely on their deeds. However, Jesus' teachings transcend this surface-level perspective. He emphasizes not only our actions but also the disposition of our hearts, the hidden reservoirs of our emotions, intentions, and desires, residing in the deepest corners of our beings. Today, we will explore 5 sinful habits elucidated by Jesus that have the potential to distance us from the realm of God. The first habit is unbelief. The Gospel of John, particularly in John chapter 3 verse 18, underscores the weight of unbelief with remarkable clarity. This verse doesn't speak of future consequences. Rather, it asserts that those who do not believe are already condemned. Rejecting Jesus Christ is not just a passive disbelief. It's an active decision to disregard the salvation he offers. Unbelief is a spiritual stance with eternal implications. It means turning away from the embodiment of God's love, mercy, and grace. Let's now consider the second habit, living hypocritically. In a world where appearances often overshadow authenticity, Jesus' words hold a timeless truth. In Matthew chapter 23 verse 13, he admonishes the religious leaders, cautioning about the dangers of living a double life. Hypocrisy corrodes the soul when our outward actions contradict our inner beliefs, when we speak of love while harboring resentment. This not only distances us from others but also separates us from the kingdom of heaven. Our faith is not a performance for an audience. It's an intimate space where our true selves are revealed before God. Next, we explore the habit of unforgiveness. Forgiveness is central to our relationship with God. In Matthew chapter 6 verse 15, Jesus declares that our forgiveness of others is tied to our own forgiveness by God. Holding on to grudges and resentment indicates a heart that hasn't fully grasped God's grace. If God withheld forgiveness as we sometimes do, where would we stand? Unforgiveness creates a barrier in our relationship with God. Aligning our hearts with His is essential. The fourth habit is harboring anger and contempt. Jesus' words in Matthew chapter 5 verse 22 highlight that the kingdom of God isn't solely concerned with external actions but the disposition of our hearts. Hate and anger originate within the heart before they manifest in actions. A heart consumed by anger is distant from God's love and grace. Thus, it's important to examine the roots of bitterness and hate within us. Jesus' teachings call us to a deeper understanding of righteousness. True righteousness begins within, transcending outward actions. Our heart's disposition matters deeply in our spiritual journey. Let's strive to cleanse our hearts from destructive habits, drawing closer to God's love, grace, and the principles of His kingdom. Let us now delve into the fifth and final habit that Jesus expounded upon, the habit of materialism and worldly attachment. In a world often defined by the pursuit of wealth and possessions, Jesus' teachings offer a different perspective. He reminds us that the pursuit of material gain, while not inherently wrong, can lead to a detachment from the spiritual realm. In Matthew chapter 6 verse 19-21, Jesus cautions against storing up treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and thieves can steal. Instead, he encourages us to store up treasures in heaven, for where our treasure is, there our heart will be also. This profound insight reminds us that our priorities shape our hearts. If we invest all our energy into amassing material wealth, our hearts may become entangled in the transient and the perishable. Materialism can blind us to the deeper truths of existence, the spiritual aspects that lead us to a meaningful relationship with God. While we navigate the practicalities of life, Jesus invites us to retain a balance, recognizing that our earthly possessions should never overshadow our spiritual growth. Furthermore, the pursuit of wealth can lead to ethical dilemmas, as we're tempted to compromise our values for personal gain. The desire for riches can foster greed, envy, and a disregard for the well-being of others. These attitudes distance us from the teachings of compassion, generosity, and selflessness that Jesus exemplified. Instead, Jesus encourages a perspective rooted in gratitude and contentment. Acknowledging that all we possess ultimately comes from God, we are invited to be good stewards of our resources, using them for the betterment of ourselves and others. This mindset liberates us from the grip of materialism, allowing us to channel our energies into spiritual growth, kindness, and serving the greater good. In essence, Jesus challenges us to consider where our heart truly lies. Are we investing in temporary riches that fade with time? Or are we nurturing our spiritual well-being and building treasures in the realm of the eternal? Striving for a balance between our material needs and our spiritual growth leads to a life enriched with purpose and authenticity. As we reflect on Jesus' teachings about these 5 habits that can distance us from the kingdom of God — unbelief, hypocrisy, unforgiveness, harboring anger and contempt, and materialism — let us remember that His words are not meant to condemn, but to guide us towards a more fulfilling, righteous, and God-centered life. By addressing these habits, we can align our hearts with His teachings, drawing closer to the essence of our faith and the path to salvation. In conclusion, the journey of understanding and embodying the core teachings of Jesus is a lifelong endeavor. It involves introspection, transformation, and a continuous striving towards spiritual growth. May we take these insights to heart and make conscious efforts to cultivate habits that bring us closer to the embrace of our loving God and the eternal kingdom He offers.